Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Writes. This is The Winter of Truth, and this is number 33 probably. Um, Finara finally has to go in and get the data for the rebels, or otherwise they'll expose her as being a rebel agent. Fun stuff, fun. So I think I've puzzled out what I want to do here. I have to both keep tension in the air for the reader, but also know that Finara has a plan, so I have to hide some things from the audience, and that's fine. I'll be hiding it from you too, in a way. Alright, so Finara limped into her building. Limped into her building. The frucking leg was still acting up, and she could feel it tugging on her flesh, like one of those things that were on the outside of the Millennium Falcon when they were on that asteroid. Not Morlocks, like a animal. Okay. I'm also giving her a lip here because it'll endear us to the reader, and if this ever becomes a movie, it'll become kind of iconic. Where before her mechanical leg had been leading, now she's having to drag it along with her, and that kind of signifies something here. There wasn't anything else to do but drag it along as best she could and hope it didn't hurt her too much. Hope it didn't cause any internal bleeding. And it's a little on the nose, but whatever. We'll go along with this. Okay, so at the security station, she went through, and okay. Who was the woman who we used for the female security officer? That's not good. Alright. Somewhere in my notes I have this. And I'm using electronic notes specifically because I want you to be able to see how it's done. I could use it on paper, but it doesn't really tell you much unless I give it a screenshot. And Lathy. And Lathy stepped over her security baton, or gestured with her security baton. Scanner. This is Champ. Can we forgo that? Go that this time? The leg's acting up as it is. Finara replied. That's too bad, but you need the security scan. Proceed. You know me. Security scan. Lathy said again. And this time there was something in her voice that brooked no argument. I can even spell argument correctly. I always want to put an E in there because argue and argument. Anyway, security scan. Her security baton dropped to the ready. Alright, but I've had to make a temporary adjustment, Fanara said. The motivator shorted on me, and I'm using a data stick as a patch until I can get in to the hospital, get into medical. Data stick? Laffy asked. I'll have to run that. Fanara sighed, and okay. So what's she gonna do here? She's wearing a suit. She's got to remove the data stick from the thing, and reached down her leg and touched the access slot. A moment later, her leg went rigid. That is not how you spell rigid. It shouldn't be how you spell rigid. It doesn't look like in my brain how you should spell rigid. Not important. Let's move on. A moment later, her leg went rigid, and she extracted the plain gray data stick that the rebels had given her. See? The leg won't work without it. You should take the day off. You should take the day off then. I just came back to work. Full clearance. I don't want to miss my second day. No, I said I can go to the dock after work. Lathy gave a little hum at that and took the data stick. Took the data stick in hand. All right. Stay there. Stay there. Can't go anywhere else. Can't go anywhere else, Fanara replied, and pivoted as best she could on her immobile leg. Now, I don't know if the lead up to this gives enough tension, but it should be obvious that Fanara doesn't want the data stick found, but she has to give it up. And maybe she has some things. Can't go, not to run, play, or work. Not to run or play. Run or play. run her plan. She watched as Lathy detailed a pair of security officers to watch her. Over. The two men regarding Finara with evident suspicion. With the inherent suspicion of any corporate. All right. Oh, I know how I can do this. This will be good. She gets the data stick in, but it's what's supposed to carry the information. So it's a question of getting it out. Okay. Or at least that's the bit we're gonna go to. Of any corporate corporate badge. Though they weren't stormtroopers. They weren't stormtroopers. They were certainly formidable. Certainly built like one. Built like them. All right. All right. How do we fill the time here? How do we fill the time? Again, Finara thought through all the data she'd left. She left on that stick. The bare minimum to run her leg. Most of it crimped down into what did they into the bare minimum to run her leg. Most of it crimped down into not sleek files. What did it go? They're expanded. They're extorted. They're extracted into contracted files. That's not a word. Don't care. Contracted, and yet spell check does not immediately ting me on that. Into contracted files. Into contracted files. Leave the maximum amount of space. It was, how else was she going to carry? Yes, there we go. How else was she going to carry the data out of the secure systems? How else was she? Lathy came back. Lathy came back. Her lips in grim smile, in a grimace. It's not procedure. It's not procedure, she said. That Data stick in hand. Medical exception. Medical exception. Banana tried. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. Get your leg fixed. You're going to get your leg fixed as soon as I can. It hurts. It hurts to walk. Banana admitted. Said and let the pain show through. I'm finally going to use an engineer's chair. I'm probably gonna have to use an engineer's chair. You hadn't before? Felt better standing. Felt better standing. I thought you'd agree. She noted, and gestured to the fact that there were no chairs in the security center. The security processing queue. Oh, I thought you'd agree. Felt better standing. I thought you'd agree. Not after 10 years. Not after 10 years. Lathy replied. Passed the data stick back. Don't flaunt the exception. And take care of that hip. Or you hurt yourself. You're no good to anyone if you're in the hospital. Finara slid the data stick back into her leg's slot. The program unfurled itself. Batteries powered back up. Now, do they run on batteries or fuel cells? They'd have to run on batteries, wouldn't they? I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but not really. I don't think she'd want a fuel cell in her leg. And batteries probably hold enough power that it's, I mean, it's power production either way. It's just with a fuel cell, it's, ooh, batteries powered back up, and flow was restored. Batteries powered up. Actuators shifted, and movement was restored. She let out a sigh of relief as walking became something other than a dream. Thanks. I'll do just that. Promise. Take care now. Let's shop. Okay. I know how will the data stick will be confiscated on her way out. She'll have to be wheelchaired, or the equivalent, hover chaired. She'll have to be hover chaired out to her medical visit. The data will, I'm going to redo a reveal. I know, it's not this exciting. The data will be revealed to be in her legs storage system. Which is why she can't use it. Okay, there you go. Right now we're focusing things on the data stick. It's kind of a shell game where she's got to get this out, and when it's taken from her, basically at the end of the day, we're like, oh my god, it's all been for nothing. And then no, she's smarter than that. Thank you. Finara. Finara limped through the queue. Finara limped through the queue and made her way to her desk, to her station. That was the easy part. That was the easy part. Now she had to access the data they wanted without making it look like she had accessed the data. If there was one thing that would send her to the cells permanently, it would be doing a direct. It would be doing a direct. Be initiating a direct download from her own right here, or from anywhere in this section, or from anywhere in this section. A strange data dump on the same day that someone claimed a medical exemption for a data stick. Only an idiot would overlook that. And she had no doubt that Randul, whatever this name was, what is his name? What is his name? What's in a name? A name should be memorable, and I can't remember him. Well, like I said, first draft, Randul or Rum. Oh, many terrible things. Wasn't an idiot. Soft in the head. Okay, so what are we doing now? So she worked. First, she ordered her chair. First, she ordered a chair, though. That she couldn't do without. Where her where metal met flesh. Flesh was already bruised. It's already badly bruised. The painkillers would have helped, but also would have dulled her up. Instead, she'd taken a stiff medicinal to help with the swelling, and would to let her nerves suffer a bit. Okay. The chair came quick. Priorities from the engineers usually did, especially since hers was the first in the queue this early morning. Until then, she played about with armor configurations for the personalized armored walker, whose acronym needed some work too. But that wasn't her purview. The bureaucrats could chew on that after she developed the specs. Now, it's entirely possible to turn out designs very quickly. There was one, I can't remember, it was a destroyer or light cruiser that a woman in the 70s, I want to say, put out, turned around in a very short amount of time using computer-assisted design, if I recall correctly. If I don't recall correctly, then that's not what she did do. But she turned it around very quickly in terms of this is the tonnage, this is the systems we would need. A lot of refinements would need to be made, but you can sketch out the broad stuff very quickly and put forward proposals. And there you go, because eventually you'll get the details down, but you need to know what can we do readily right now, and it's entirely possible to turn out a design in just a couple of days. I think she did it under 100 hours. Don't quote me on that. I don't have the story right in front of me. All right, so here we go. When she could finally sit, thanking the droid that brought it out, even though the little box on wheels probably didn't understand. She considered what to do next. The key lay in getting non-monitored access to the data, which meant she had to avoid any workstation which keylogged and recorded access. That meant tapping into the main trunk somewhere. And for that, she would have to sacrifice her new chair. It was tricky to disturb. It's tricky to adjust, to pry up the access she had the access port open and was wrist deep in the config systems, when her comm chimed with Telek's messenger. With Telek's tune. Her master wanted the word. Now, what does Telek want? What does Telek want? Heard about her leg. Just to check up. Wants to know where her mind is with the paw walker, the paw. Makes some suggestions about armaments, some corporations to be favored over others. Yeah. Concussion missile launchers, disposable, a 4-pack if she can manage it. Blasters, of course. Twinned lights. For infantry, preferably infantry stock. That's a sop to the army. I'm going to have to look up another number of different corporations. Basically, ensure everyone gets a piece of the pie. So it's a strategic discussion about. It's a strategic discussion about development. Okay, so there we go. So I know where she's going with what Telek is going to talk about. This derails when they get to talking about her career. Where does she go after Kuwait yards? Since they won't be getting a big chunk of the paw. And might fire her. Telek notes that he'll do his best to ensure she doesn't get fired if Telek gets promoted. She realizes then that he won't take her with him, and she is disposable in his eyes. And there we go. There's their essential conflict, and that's why she's going to make a decision. And there we go. All right, but this has been Alan Wright's The Winter of Truth. I hope you've enjoyed this little slip into things. We're moving along. We got a page and a half. Yeah. It could be faster, but it is what it is, especially on YouTube. So I hope you have a good day. Stay safe and take care out there. Thanks.